You're studying wrong. 6 science-backed secrets to stop forgetting everything. The brutal truth, why your memory sucks. It's not your fault. Most students believe that studying harder is the only path to success. They push through 10-hour sessions only to walk into the exam room and watch everything vanish 5 seconds later. You might think, my memory sucks, but it's not your fault. It's your method. The conflict isn't with your brain's ability, but your approach. In the next 5 minutes, you'll discover 6 simple, scientifically proven strategies to fix that. The biggest secret? It all begins with something called the illusion of learning. Are you ready to face the shocking truth about why passively highlighting your notes never works? Tip 1. The illusion of learning. Stop reading, start recalling. Meet Alex, who just finished coloring an entire textbook page in vibrant yellow. He closes the book, feeling a rush of misplaced confidence, patting himself on the back for having studied the whole chapter. This is the core problem, the illusion of learning. Reading and rereading notes or highlighting key terms provides temporary recognition, making your brain feel like it knows the information. But in reality, you haven't built a deep retrievable memory. The moment the test pressure hits, that temporary recognition vanishes, and your memory sucks again. The brutal truth is, you've been using the wrong methods. The fix is active recall. Instead of passively reading, immediately close that textbook. Alex did exactly that, sweating a little as he forced himself to write down the 3 main points he just covered without looking. The struggle, the effort required to pull the information out of his head, created a lasting memory trace. That empty space on the paper where he couldn't fill in a detail, that immediately showed him the knowledge gap that required fixing. But wait, if this method is so effective, how do we keep from forgetting the hard-won information we just recalled? Alex quickly realized he needed a strategic schedule to prevent that memory from fading in the coming days. Tip 2. Make forgetting your friends with spaced repetition. But relying solely on active recall doesn't fix the fundamental problem of long-term attention. Alex realized his hard-won facts would still fade away if he didn't have a strategic schedule to prevent forgetting. Here is a secret that sounds counterintuitive. Forgetting is an essential part of learning. Every time your memory of a fact almost breaks and you force yourself to retrieve it again, your brain strengthens that neural connection. This struggle is what moves knowledge from short-term to long-term storage. The mechanism to harness this phenomenon is spaced repetition. Instead of the frantic last-minute cramming session, you review material over strategically increasing intervals. A simple model is learn it on day 1, review briefly on day 3, again on day 7, and finally on day 14. These quick 5-minute review sessions, timed just before the memory would be completely lost, solidify the information. This is why many people who use the wrong methods feel their memory sucks. They try to avoid forgetting, but the intentional fight against forgetting is the key. Having established a review schedule, Alex encountered the next major hurdle. He had studied theory in his quiet room, yet the exam demanded practical problem-solving under pressure. Tip 3. Context matters. Train the way you'll be tested. Now that Alex had mastered the timing of retrieval, he faced a new, subtler foe, the environmental disconnect. He realized that studying theory in his quiet, familiar dorm room was like practicing for a marathon by walking slowly on a treadmill. The brutal truth is that your brain is a contextual conservative. It links information not just to the data itself, but to the environment. Contextual studying. If your exam is about solving physics problems, don't just read about the solutions, practice solving them under timed conditions. For his upcoming essay exam, Alex stopped merely reviewing notes and started writing full outlines and introduction paragraphs under the clock. If the test is multiple choice, take practice quizzes. If it's a timed essay, practice writing essays. Even the surprise element is true, using the same type of music or scent during practice as in the test environment can give you a minor edge. As he practiced, the gaps in Alex's knowledge became painfully obvious. He needed a way to test his comprehension that was so objective, so unforgiving, that he couldn't hide behind the illusion of learning anymore. Tip 4. The Feynman Technique. Teach to test himself honestly was real. So here's a bold challenge. Find a student right now. It could be your dog, a willing sibling, or even your wall. This introduces the Feynman Technique, or teach to remember. Even the smartest people can't lecture on a concept if they don't truly understand it, and that's the brutal truth. Alex stood before his whiteboard and began explaining active recall aloud, as if teaching a class. Halfway through, he froze, realizing he couldn't explain a crucial link. "Wait, I don't actually understand this connection," he muttered. That moment of stuttering wasn't a failure. It was the exact moment he located the knowledge gap. Teaching forced him to logically organize the information in his head, making the memory stick. He felt a huge surge of confidence, knowing he had conquered another illusion of learning. Yet, the body has its limits. Exhausted, Alex slumped over his notes, drifting into a sudden deep sleep. When he woke with a jolt, a chilling thought hit him. Had all that hard work vanished? We often forget that what you do after studying is just as vital for the brain to consolidate learning. Tip 5. The true memory superpower. Stop pulling all-nighters. Yet, waking up groggy on his desk, Alex was confronted by the fear that his knowledge had evaporated. He was now battling the most widespread and destructive myth in student culture, the all-nighter. This brings us to a shocking, brutal truth that most students conveniently ignore. Your brain doesn't actually store memories while you're awake. It does that crucial consolidation work while you sleep. Alex looked at the clock. It was 3 a.m. He had a choice: cram 2 more chapters or aim for 4 hours of sleep. He opted to sleep, recognizing that pulling an all-nighter meant literally deleting his own hard work. You aim for 7 to 8 hours. Sleep smarter, not just study harder. Power naps help with alertness, but deep nocturnal sleep is where the magic of permanent memory retention happens. On the day of the exam, Alex felt sharp, a payoff for his decision. But 15 minutes in, he jumped. A friend's phone, carelessly left on, buzzed with an incoming text. Alex instantly realized the final piece of the puzzle. Even the perfect method fails if the environment fights back. Tip 6. Focus. The Pomodoro Technique and no multitasking. That brief distraction from a buzzing phone was a harsh reminder that external factors could still sabotage all that perfectly consolidated memory. It leads us directly to the final brutal truth. Scrolling TikTok during a 5-minute study break isn't a reward, it's a memory reset button. Your brain's spotlight of focus can't multitask. If it keeps switching contexts, nothing sticks. Alex finally put his phone in the other room, solving his lifelong struggle with concentration. The wrong methods were to blame, not his capability. He embraced the Pomodoro Technique. 25 minutes of furious focus, followed by a true screen-free 5-minute break. He realized this short respite, standing up and stretching, actually sharpened his focus far better than trying to cram in an extra 5 minutes of reading, preventing the entire feeling of, "my memory sucks." With all 6 strategies now deployed, from active recall to this ultimate focus method, Alex finally leaned back. His revision was complete. He was no longer battling the illusion of learning. He was ready for the test. Stop staring blankly. Your new memory blueprint. Alex looked down at his desk. The questions weren't a blur anymore. He had applied all 6 simple strategies. No more passive reading, only active recall. Embracing forgetting with spaced repetition. Matching his contextual studying to the test format, teaching the complex parts to his bewildered houseplant, respecting his need for sleep, and eliminating distraction with the Pomodoro Technique's intense focus and short, device-free 5-minute breaks. This is the brutal truth. It was never that his memory sucks, only that he was using the wrong methods. He walked into the exam not with the panic of the past, but with a deep certainty that his brain was finally working with him, not against him. So, are you going to keep falling for the illusion of learning and waste time with the old way? Or are you going to implement this blueprint today and stop staring blankly at your life? If you're serious about changing your grades, hit like and subscribe for more secrets.